from the Museum of Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas. And I want to address the ways that museums can work towards greater inclusivity, even while developing online content in-house and on a limited budget, by focusing on a companion web exhibit developed at the Museum of Texas Tech University. This web exhibit is still being refined as we learn more about accessibility, but here I'd like to describe our progress and emphasize the challenges we faced and our future goals to better meet the needs of our constituency. So this project began with a physical exhibit at the Lubbock Lake Landmark, which is a satellite facility of the Museum of Texas Tech. This exhibit was titled Engaging Folsom Hunter-Gatherers with 3D Technology, and it opened in the fall of 2016 and featured technology while broadening accessibility. The exhibit included 3D printed versions of collections objects that visitors could handle, allowing closer interactions with the collections than is normally permitted in a museum setting. To increase accessibility further, these 3D prints had added printed braille, as visible in the right-hand image of the slide, which is a close-up of a 3D printed bison metatarsal with braille along its side. Handling these 3D printed objects would trigger audio recordings so that content presented in the exhibit was not solely presented in text panels. And an image of the setup is on the left-hand side of the slide, where two 3D printed bison bones are in the middle of the display along with text panels and object labels in braille. This exhibit was completed in-house with a limited budget. When considering a companion web exhibit, we wanted to meet the same goals of broadening access to collections objects while showcasing technology, while maintaining a focus on accessibility. We also plan to create the web exhibit in-house, again with limited resources, to assess how feasible this was for us as an institution. The first step for us in creating online content was to try and determine what inclusivity actually means in the context of a web exhibit. This meant brainstorming the different reasons people would not be able to access our collections and research. One of the first and most obvious benefits of providing additional content online was to reach those individuals who, for a variety of reasons, could not attend the physical exhibit. This meant we wanted to provide quality content and link to 3D models of objects that were printed at the physical exhibit on our webpage. We also wanted to reach individuals with a range of different needs who might access our site in as equitable a way as we could. Based on our research, this might include individuals with auditory, visual, sensory processing, or other impairments. Next, we had to figure out where to start and evaluate how much of this we could actually achieve in-house. This meant understanding what resources were available. So building accessibility was a steep learning curve and started with a lot of research. Luckily, there are many resources freely available on the web. For us, the first place to start is becoming familiar with current web content accessibility guidelines, which are linked on the slide at www.w3.org/tr/WCAG20. We began with simple things to implement first. We tried to make our web exhibit simple and easy to navigate, which is something that could benefit all visitors to the site, as well as something that gave us a much easier starting point to implement our new skills. An important beginning point was adding simple fixes that we knew we could make, such as making sure our site was using high contrast colors, sans serif fonts, and a larger font size for people to be able to read it more easily, and ensuring that all images had quality alternate text for anyone using a screen reader to read content on our site out loud. It also meant looking at our HTML and ensuring that all content, such as headings and paragraphs, was correctly tagged in a logical order for screen readers to follow, which is a little more complex, but something that we can start to work on in-house. Many early steps we took towards greater accessibility weren't actually technically challenging, but issues of awareness, and as we became more aware, we were able to add additional features. For example, we inserted audio content from the physical exhibit onto our web exhibit. To be accessible, this also required providing an alternate transcript, as not everyone might be able to hear the audio, or they might simply be more comfortable with the written option. And an image of that is on the right-hand side of the slide, where the transcript has been expanded out. When we added a time-lapse video of our 3D printer, this meant putting a more specific title and description before the video, and indicating that the video was silent in the title, as pictured on the left-hand side of the slide. While more challenging steps, such as adding screen reader-only content within our HTML, took a greater deal of technical research, many of our early steps only took ensuring that accessibility was something we were thinking about. Free online accessibility tools, such as those available at webm.org, were invaluable throughout. WebAIM's Accessibility Evaluation Tool, or WAVE, which is available at www.wave.webm.org and linked on the slide, allowed us to scan our website for accessibility issues and continue refining it. This tool allows you to enter any web address, and it will scan it for common accessibility issues and provide feedback. Many tools like this one are free and simple to use, and therefore in the reach of all museums. Free online resources aren't the same as a person using a website, however, and an easy first step to address this was to begin tabbing websites to see how difficult our sites were to navigate with a keyboard only. For a variety of reasons, many users are not able to use a mouse, and ensuring that our site could still be navigated without one was an easy first test that could be implemented at any museum. More difficult was testing how a screen reader would interact with our site, since none of our staff knew how to use one at the start of this project. We began addressing this problem in-house by turning on VoiceOver on a Mac computer, which is just a built-in screen reader, and you can just go to your settings, turn on VoiceOver, and it'll walk you through a tutorial on using it, and begin reading the content on your computer to you. However, it's really difficult for someone who's never used one, and it doesn't account for individual needs and preferences, or differences in software or tools that people might use to access our site. So it was a really good experience for us, but we needed to do more. So we were lucky that we were able to attend an accessibility workshop through our university, and there we got to meet with a couple of screen reader users who were able to take a little time and run through the exhibit with us. And they provided valuable feedback. In many cases, it wasn't what we had expected. So for our institution, placing additional exhibit content online in a way that's inclusive has been a continual process of redevelopment. One of the really good things to come out of this, however, is increased institutional awareness as to how we can present meaningful content to the largest possible audience. Now when we talk about future projects, creative use of technology is coming up alongside with discussions of how it can be used to reach more people with a variety of different needs. Our starting points move forward so that we can build what we already know about accessibility into web exhibits from the beginning, allowing us more time for user testing and feedback. In the end, there's a lot we can still improve, but through this process, we were able to learn and implement a number of ways to make our web exhibit more accessible, and hope that it shows that it's possible, even with limited resources, for museums to work towards consistently expanding inclusivity online. Thank you.